Having to catch something unexpectedly huge or rare isn't just about the technique or the tools of the trade. Rather, luck plays a bigger role that differentiates between a good catch or coming back empty-handed.
Yeah. Wow!
Tune in to witness the lucky fisherman who caught something incredible.
That is a very, very pretty blue. It's a female with a big V-notch in her tail.
So what happens if you pet a few young sharks in a water enclosure? Well, apparently they not only wag their tails like puppies, but also get close to their owner like them too. And that is exactly what a Colombian aquarium worker demonstrated in 2020 while feeding a few sharks there. The scene is a regular happening there and attracts dozens of tourists every day. And unlike other sharks which need to move constantly in order to breathe, these particular sharks can breathe just fine even when stationary. And that is what makes them appropriate for keeping in an aquarium. Pigfish. Now, I've seen a lot of weird things in life, but this one is definitely among the top 10. While exploring the seabed off the coast off Thailand in 2019, a researcher discovered something mind-boggling. At first, you might say it is any ordinary fish, but then why does it have horns of a small goat and the face of a pig? Something fishy has definitely happened here. There is no way such a creature exists naturally, and this looks like the handiwork of a mad scientist somewhere dabbling in genetic modification. Now, I had seen crosses between land animals and crosses between marine animals, but to discover a cross between a land and a marine animal is definitely unheard of. In 2024, an anonymous source shared a video online from an unknown location of a fish that had the head of an elephant. The internet went into a frenzy after seeing this, and they blamed scientists for the existence of such a creature, and with due reason, as there is no way such a creature can exist naturally. Only a laboratory experiment can lead to such results. Rare catch. Who knew sharks could appear in Pakistani seas too? But apparently one did so 11 years ago. A few fishermen caught it in their net off the coast of Karachi. But for them, the tiger shark had no value because it had already passed away. Forensics report revealed that the shark was actually blind and had lost its way in the waters to appear in the Pakistani Arabian Sea, else they only appear in the waters of Somalia in the region. Indian outrage. Fishermen in South India were happy when their net snared a school of rare stingrays on March 30th, 2019, but their actions sparked outrage among environmental activists. The fishermen celebrated their catch and shot videos as they gathered the endangered fish on the beach near Ponani, Kerala State. The incident left wildlife activists angry as stingrays are a protected species under Indian law and hunting them can invite a sentence up to 7 years. However, it is still unknown if these fishermen were punished for their actions or not. Unintentional capture. 10 months ago, a couple of Irish fishermen found an uninvited guest in their net. They were obviously hunting for small-sized fish, but looks like this shark was hunting on their prey as well, and got caught by accident. And the shark was useless to the fishermen, so they grappled with it to push it back into the ocean. It was funny to see how the shark was trying to escape its saviors, whom it thought were its captors. Finally, the fishermen managed to get hold of the shark and threw it into the ocean. Nearly capsized. In 2023, a fisherman made an epic catch of a 297-pound fish in Thailand and struggled to get his prize out of the water. If it had not been filmed, it would have been hard to believe that the fisherman hauled the fish onto his boat all alone. The fish was so fat it nearly capsized his small boat. But it was his lucky day and the episode ended without incident. In fact, the fisherman gave a double thumbs up to the camera too once he was successful in his catch. Human-faced shark. It was a normal day for some Indonesian fishermen when they returned home in 2021 after hauling a huge load of fish in their net. Little did they know a surprise was hidden among these fish once they began sifting through them. It was rare for them to catch baby fishes in their nets, but even rarer to find one with such features. The baby fish had a face like a human. Its eyes were in the wrong place, of course, but its mouth resembled a human's face too. Whereas scientists online called it a mutation, some religious fellows called it karma through reincarnation for sins in a previous life. Well, who knows? Can't prove or disprove such things. And unfortunately, the baby fish couldn't tell the story either. Nightcrawler. When they say not to go into the woods at night, it is with reason. While on a camping trip in the Amazon in 2023, a camper decided to take a walk in the woods for a while. After a while, he found the carcass of a weird cryptid creature on the forest floor. And it is the stuff from which nightmares are made. It looked like the carcass had been lying there for days given its decomposition rate. But it is lucky the camper didn't cross paths with this one while it was alive. Faced fish. If no one had told me it was a fish, I would have thought it was some kind of an alien. But that's not what this Malaysian fisherman said when he caught this peculiar looking fish 18 years ago. The creature was so rare as nothing like it had ever been seen before, nor will anything like it will ever be seen again. And it inspired such awe in the fisherman that he placed it on his bed. After all, in addition to having a beautiful dragon-like body, the fish had the face of a human being, or an alien if you prefer it like that. But whichever it was one spooky face. The blue marlin is a large, powerful, and highly sought-after game fish found in both the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. They are known for their impressive size and ability to fight vigorously when hooked. So it is no wonder that people gathered in large numbers to witness this spectacle when a fisherman caught one off the coast of Florida in 2019. The fishermen were carefully hoisting the fish to the dock using a crane as hundreds of people recorded the rare moment from the sides. 7 years ago, an event in Ireland sent ripples through American news channels. An Irish family of fishermen did something that only few have done before. They caught a 20 feet long giant squid off the coast of Ireland. It is astonishing to note that only 7 giant squids have been caught throughout history in Ireland, and 4 of them have been caught by this particular family of fishermen. The squid in question had a unique color that is mostly found in deep water creatures. Maybe this squid had come just a little up for some food and unfortunately became food itself. Record sunfish. In 2021, a Brazilian fisherman caught a sunfish that was 2.85 meters long. He achieved this feat while fishing in the Atlantic Ocean. The longest sunfish ever caught was 3.65 meters long and weighed over 6,000 pounds. But it doesn't reduce the achievement of this fisherman by any means, considering he caught it all alone. The fisherman measured his catch on video and then described when and how he caught it. In short, it wasn't an easy catch. Little monster. No! While fishing in a Russian muddy water lake in 2014, a couple of friends found an unexpected catch. When one of the friends felt a tug on his fishing pole, he realized he had caught something. But to find something this huge was beyond his expectations. When the fish surfaced after 5 minutes of struggle, the friends cheered in joy at the sight. It was definitely a huge moment of happiness for the friends after they hauled this little monster onto their boat. Blue rarity.
It's amazing how blue they are. That pretty color.
Only 1 in 2 million lobsters is blue colored, but not for this fisherman from Florida, it seems. In 2024, this fisherman caught a blue lobster in his traps, and he repeated the feat in 2025 as well. But guess what? According to him, it could be the same lobster that he caught twice. Just imagine the odds of that happening. When he caught the lobster, other fishermen joined him to gaze at the rarity. However, despite the fact that blue lobsters are known to be tastier than ordinary lobster, the fisherman decided to let it go back into the water.
That is a very, very pretty blue. It's a female with a big V-notch in her tail.
swordfish surprise. Bud and Mary's Marina is a fishing charter in Isla Morada, Florida. Who knew the place was home to some large-sized swordfishes? And in 2020, a few friends probed just that.
Here we go. She's coming to us right here.
They knew exactly where to go looking for a swordfish and had the appropriate knowledge about the equipment to use. After much efforts, they were able to reel in a huge swordfish and haul it onto their boat. They quickly used snow to cover the fish too to preserve it. And after that, 3 victorious friends made their way back home.
She's bigger than 150. That's over 150.
Alligator trouble.
Oh my God! That's a big ass gator, buddy.
A father and daughter duo went for a fishing trip to a lake in Florida in 2016. They were in their small pedal boat as they weren't expecting or hoping to catch any large animal. Soon after, the father's fishing line caught something and he began reeling it in. But the creature's mouth kept getting wider and its teeth kept getting larger as it came into view. The father realized with horror that it was an alligator and abandoned his line then and there as his daughter shrieked. And then they quickly began pedaling away from the spot. But it became a memory the duo will never forget.
First thing I did was screamed and I told my daddy to hurry and to pedal really fast.
Mermaid incident. "11 years ago, a few Mexican fishermen experienced an unforgettable day. They were on an ordinary fishing trip, but it was going to become plastered on their memories. As they hauled in their net, something that just wasn't fish was caught in it. At first, they thought it was some large fish, but then the creature opened its arms in an eerie spectacle, and the fishermen left the net in fright. When netizens saw this video on social media, they pointed out that they had captured a mermaid in their net, and it was a scary one at that too. Unexpected catch. On March 22nd, 2025 fishermen Luke Beard and Jason Rosenfeld did something astonishing on the coast of North Carolina. While they were trying to catch some afternoon meal using their fishing poles, they reeled in an uninvited giant fish by mistake. It was a great white shark, and it too was clearly confused about what had happened. However, Jason and Luke took the best course of action and released the shark back into the sea's waters.
They say when they catch sharks out, they often remove several hooks and also debris, trash that's been attached. They really love their sharks, and now they have a story of a lifetime.
Chilean ore. In 2019, fishermen in Chile managed to catch an unusually long oarfish. It was at least 20 feet long, and they needed a crane to lift the fish from the boat to the harbor. The event drew so much attention that people flocked in numbers to witness this spectacular creature. Oarfish are known for their weird elongated oar-like shape, but to capture one of this size is a rarity even among expert fishermen. However, it also meant a higher revenue for the fishermen, so they were definitely not complaining. Heavy shark. 6 years ago, fishermen off the coast of Karachi found an unlikely catch in their net. It was a whale shark. They brought it to the shore and used 2 cranes to lift the 7,000 kilograms carcass to the harbor. According to the authorities, the shark passed away while stuck in the fishing net. The huge fish has no commercial value in Pakistan as its flesh isn't edible, but that still couldn't stop the fishermen from cheering. Nevertheless, a fish trader bought the carcass for about $600 in order to not waste the efforts of the fishermen who had caught it. White sea foam. One year ago, a few Mexican fishermen discovered a huge mass of white foam type substance in the Mexican Gulf. At first, they thought it was ambergris, which is a rare precious substance produced in the vomit of a whale. And if that had been true, these fishermen would have become billionaires overnight. But then they realized it was just a decomposing whale carcass and had little to no value. The fishermen were of course disappointed, but hey, who knows, they might really get lucky one day and find real ambergris floating in the water.
Wala ada potong-potong dia, guys.
Siponophore. In 2024, a man was canoeing in the Pacific Ocean when he found something strange in the clear blue waters. Initially, it looked like a snake had shed its skin, and that had somehow made its way to the ocean. But on closer inspection, the man discovered something weirder. There were tiny creatures in the jelly-type structure of the thing, and they all seemed connected. As he had no clue about the thing, he uploaded the video on social media for answers. And there he did get them. It was a Siponophore, and it is a rare sight for anyone exploring the ocean. Mermaid courier. A couple years ago, an unknown user uploaded a video from Amazon, Brazil, which had more than one surprising feature. A group of women were hoisting a long-looking fish on an extremely long pole. For starters, where did they get such a long pole from? Secondly, why were so many women carrying this thing and not the men? And third, what were they even carrying? It looked like an oversized fish, but on a second look, you could say it was a huge mermaid. It had a beautiful body, but unfortunately its head was hidden. If you have any theories, do let me know. Record-breaking ray. The big fish don't just exist in oceans. In 2022, fishermen in Cambodia caught a 13-foot monster in the Mekong River as well. It was a manta ray and weighed 660 pounds. It now holds the record for the biggest fish ever caught in fresh water. The fishermen who caught it were wise enough to understand the significance of their catch and decided to let the ray go back into the water for it to grow even further. Their kindness is admirable, considering they would have made a lot of money selling this one in the market. Hurricane aftermath. When the 2015 hurricane season ended in America, it left more than just demolished houses on a beach. While a couple were taking a walk on one of the beaches, they found something heart-stopping. It was the carcass of a mermaid, and by the looks of it had been lying there for quite some time now, given how much it had decomposed and deformed. It does make sense that hurricanes would disrupt the navigation abilities of these creatures, but usually they are known to be in deep waters. Maybe this mermaid had come to the surface for some hunting and got washed away by a hurricane. Chomped away.
Alright guys, we've got
6 years ago, two friends were fishing for a swordfish in the Pacific Ocean near Oregon. Well, they did catch the fish they were looking for, but a surprise was waiting for them in the end. As the fish took the bait, they had to face a vigorous struggle from it. They held onto it for hours before they reeled it in, and that is when they realized something extraordinary. As the fish was stuck in their hook, something else had been feasting on it, and that merciless monster only left the head and tail for the fisherman while eating away the tastier parts.
Lucky.
yeah. Wow!
Hairy beast. A huge, hairy, mysterious sea creature washed up on a beach in the Philippines in 2017. Stunned locals flocked to the beach in Cagdanao, Dinagat Islands, to gawp at the monster-like beast and take selfies with it. The huge white hairy beast was thought to have come ashore following a recent earthquake. Several unusual sea creatures have been washing up on the shores of the tropical islands following the deadly quake in 2017. And I guess there was no other way these mysterious monsters could have been discovered. Indian whale shark. A few years ago, fishermen from Madras experienced a stronger than usual tug on their fishing net than usual. They were looking for fish to sell in the market, but caught something else entirely. When they pulled their net after a lot of effort, they discovered that a huge whale shark had gotten stuck in their net. With no other option but to rescue their net, these fishermen had to take the creature back home. And there they used a crane to lift the shark and release their net. Unidentified bizarre creature. A Russian boatsman found a bizarre creature stuck to his boat while he was boating in a lake in 2010. I have no idea what this is, and apparently social media users were at a loss too to identify this eerie creature. In the beginning, the creature just sits there still, and one can mistake it for a leather hat or something. But then it began making movements leading to the realization that is indeed a live creature. So if you have any clues about what this is, I will be happy to hear from you. Impossible breathing.
那这个尾巴，你看这些，都哭奔奔的了啦。
As soon as you think you have seen all kind of weird, a new kind of weird dances in your face. In 2023, a Chinese man demonstrated some peculiar looking fish in Wuhan. These fish seem to have dried up to the point the man could easily break a chunk off their fins. But as soon as he poured water on the mouth of one of the fish, it began breathing. The sound of surprise of the Chinese man mirrors my surprise at this phenomenon as well.
这个神奇的洞洞啊，来看一下，来看有没有反应。喂，喂。
Wrongly located. Beware of what you find on the beach. While walking on a beach in Scandinavia, a beach explorer noticed something weird in the sand. It looked like a white mushroom of some kind, but when he pulled at it, it revealed something bigger. It was a tentacle cuttlefish that would surely give you the jeepers, but when netizens saw this video, they couldn't hold back their funny comments. According to them, one person's monster is another man's meal. Now I have no idea where they eat cuttlefish, but definitely no one does so in my neighborhood. Thirsty creature. While docked on a shore in Florida, a fisherman caught sight of a bizarre sight near his boat. A creature of an unknown kind was trying to grab onto his water hose. When he uploaded the video on social media, netizens were surprised as to why a creature living in the water was trying to drink water from a hose. But then someone revealed the truth. It was a manatee that was trying to drink water from the hose, as they like to drink fresh water only. Gigglefin. While out on a walk near a New Zealand river in 2020, this explorer caught sight of a weird fish on the river. It looked like a tiny dolphin and appeared to have no eyes, but netizens came to the rescue in identifying this one. It was a gigglefin trout that has a quirky habit of bubbles that resemble laughing faces. It has other unusual habits too. It likes to swim around other species of fish for unknown reasons, and apart from eating algae, it likes to gobble riverbed pebbles too. Orfish. In 2016, a Japanese fisherman captured a creature of legend in his net. At first, it looks like a creature right out of fiction books. With flashy red wavy hair along the length of its body, it is no wonder this particular animal is called an orfish, because it has a body that looks like an oar. If you ask me, it looks more like a flying dragon, the way its hair waved in the water. Once news of its capture hit the news channel, people from far and wide visited to take a look. And who wouldn't want to see this majestic fish? Surprise fisherwoman. Michelle Bonsuiz Kakale made history in 2021 when she landed a huge 1,000 pounds tuna fish off the coast of Australia. You can see her nervousness while she is pulling in the fish much larger than herself. The fish tottered on the edge of her boat before landing with a force that rocked her whole boat. She gave a yell of joy after the fish landed, and with good reason too. It is not every day that a fisherwoman lands a tuna of such huge proportions. That too on her own. Congratulations to Michelle. Whale catcher. In another incident, a fisherman in China managed to reel in a huge whale off the coast of Shandong province. In the video, filmed off the coast of Rizhao, a crane can be seen lifting the massive mammal onto a flatbed truck, which then carries it away. According to news reports, the mammoth 8.5 meter long, 3.9 ton whale was found by fisherman Dai Yushan on January 11th, 2015, and kept on the beach until the City Bureau of Ocean and Fishery arrived to check the body a day later. Some experts said losing its way might be the cause of the whale passing away, but admitted further tests are required. Electric dragonfish. When a Japanese fisherman caught a dragonfish off the coast of Okinawa in 2023, a bigger surprise in store was waiting for him. This particular fish was giving away flashes of light as if it was an electricity generator itself. There are some kinds of eels that are known to shock their prey with electricity, but it is a first among dragonfish, and to flash and sparkle with such brightness is even rarer. No wonder the fisherman was extremely happy with his catch and showed off his catch on social media for that reason as well. Prehistoric animal. Its tail looked like that of a whale, but was it one? That question has been bothering netizens ever since this video surfaced online 6 years ago. Allegedly, it was an Indian beach, and this monster fish was washed ashore. Apart from its tail, no part of it resembled a whale. It was thinner in the middle and too long for comfort. Its head looked like that of an unnaturally oversized eel, and it was so heavy one crane wasn't enough to lift it. What even was it? Netizens speculated that it was most probably a prehistoric marine animal that was accidentally discovered now. But if such monstrous-sized animals are alive even, who knows what other secrets the oceans might still be hiding underneath. Lip-faced. I am sure you had never seen a fish with human lips before. Well, neither had AI for that matter, but get ready to be shocked. A fisherman in Mexico caught one such fish in 2024. It didn't just have the lips of a human, it also had the teeth of a human too. The overall result was a scary looking fish. But once you see this, you can't unsee it anymore, but only pray your memory deletes it soon. Mutant frog. In 2004, biologists found a weird frog in Waston-super-Mare, UK. To summarize, it was a triple-headed frog with 3 mouths, 6 eyes, and 6 legs. Scientists were baffled at this unexpected discovery and were at a loss to explain what might have caused this mutation. While some people blamed human interference in the ecosystem for this development, such mutations have not been unknown in animals. Reptiles of different kinds have been seen to have 2 heads, but this was the first time a 3-headed reptile was found. Four-eyed fish. In 2022, a Mexican fisherman caught a fish that is the stuff of nightmares. The fish appears to have 2 mouths and 4 eyes. However, scientists and social media users thought that the second mouth could actually be a gaping flesh wound that healed improperly. Okay, we can agree with them, but how do you explain the 4 eyes? The fish had clearly mutated or was born like this, and if it had 4 eyes, that extra hole was the second mouth and not an improperly healed wound. What do you think about it, folks? Shark wrestler. Shark sightings usually send beachgoers fleeing in fear, but running away wasn't on the mind of Elliot Sedal when a shark caught his bait in 2016 while he was fishing for bluefish on a beach in Massachusetts. Luckily, it wasn't a full-grown shark, else who knows what would have happened. But Elliot was able to wrestle with this particular shark and haul it onto the shore. I can't say if we should follow Elliot's example if we ever encounter a shark on a beach like this, but hey, can't take the credit away from Elliot for being brave that day. Giant manta ray. It is only when you see the big marine animals on land you realize how tiny we are compared to nature. Take for instance this manta ray that was caught by some Peruvian fishermen in 2015. Regardless of the fact that it weighed over a ton, imagine what a spectacle it would have been if this creature was a land animal chasing human beings around. But the fishermen were lucky this manta ray was powerless once it was hauled outside the water. It is definitely a good day for a fisherman if he needs a crane to lift his catch to a truck and then to the market. Giant sunfish. They're gonna need a bigger boat now. In 2021, marine biologists in the Mediterranean pulled up an enormous sunfish that got caught in a tuna fishing net. It measured more than 10 feet long and was wider than 9 feet. They tried to weigh it, but it was so heavy for their equipment that it almost broke their 1,000 kilo scale. It is just unbelievable to think that the seas of the world harbor such huge animals. One might think that only whales and sharks grow to such large sizes, but here we are, staring at an unweighable sunfish. Timely rescue. When an enormous humpback whale washed up on a beach in Argentina in 2018, humans came to the rescue. About 30 people worked for 28 hours to return the whale to the water in the resort town of Mar del Tuyú, about 200 miles south of Buenos Aires. The Mundo Marina Foundation said it was found by a resident who was taking a walk on the beach. He quickly notified authorities that the animal was in trouble, and thanks to their efforts, a relieved whale was soon swimming back in the sea. United effort. In 2016, residents of Konkan, India faced a daunting task when a 47 feet long blue whale washed ashore from the sea. The locals came together and without using any equipment, they began to push the whale back into the sea. It took a couple of hours and the combined force about 24 people to successfully complete their mission. When netizens watched this video, they were in praises for the efforts of the people of this unknown town in India. Cabara snapper. Brooke Chris is an expert American fisherman who visits various parts of the world to fish for exotic species of the seas. In 2021, he was invited to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for a fishing trip to an all-exclusive fishing lodge. So they set out to the sea the next morning and managed to catch a huge cabara snapper. Brooke then weighed the fish and demonstrated how to cut a fish of this kind before handing it over to the chef for cooking a tasty meal.
Just look at the size of his mouth, and just these snapper are the largest snapper species in the world.
In 2025, a few deep-sea divers stumbled upon a weird creature on the seafloor in the Atlantic Ocean. The creature was a crab by the looks of it, but it was of gigantic proportions. It was so huge the divers could easily swim beneath it. The crab was also covered with coral and algae. It is obvious that it was a prehistoric monster that was preserved in this manner. No one knows for how many thousands of years this crab had been lying here to be discovered only recently. Who knows what other monsters are lying on the ocean floors?